Good evening. All my rowdy friends are here for Saturday night. It is ROM Hack Races week 228. Ooh boy, it has been a long time since we've done this. My name is Dr. No. It is a pleasure to be here tonight to speak with you and to talk about all this fun stuff that's going to happen. Joining me, dear friend, level tester extraordinaire, and longtime member of this crew, RB Pimlico. RBP, how's it going?
Hello, Dr. No. Thank you all again for having me. I'm really glad to be back doing commentary again. And I guess also and testing this week as well. I did cheat. I looked at the level already. I just want to get that out there up front right now so that no one thinks I'm psychic.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to question you. We have tonight Buttered Bridge by friend of the program, multi-time RHR creator and multi-time RHR racer and winner, I might add, JankPickle. We have a JankPickle level for you tonight, and it's a 5er. So we have a 5-star level tonight. We got 5 stars for complexity and 5 stars for execution. So a pretty straight up 5 for 5 level, 5x5 level, if you will. There are 2 sections. The sections have been rated at 4 out of 10 for length. So we are in for quite a show tonight. And there's music coming through on my end. 1 second.
In case anyone did not know, Dr. No is a very accomplished vocal beatbox professional there who's doing all of that just with their mouth.
I'm very good at this. And I've clearly had a lot of practice too. We're filling in for Glitch tonight. Glitch is unavailable, but Glitch is sending their love. As we all know, they wish they could be here. But we've got some racers. We've got B2DE81. We've got Proto Pizza. We've got You Fail Me. We've got Germ Dove, and we've got several friends who will be joining us along the way. Now, this is going to be a fun win. RBP, I know you said you've played the level as sort of an apology, but can you give us a tiny glimpse of what we're in for here in about a minute and a half?
I can. The most I will say right now, and you, if you're being observant and looking at the screen, you might be getting a sense of what might be in store already. But I will say that those of us that have played a bit of Kaizo are probably pretty familiar with a certain thing, a certain asset that's given to us that is very useful for Mario to use and manipulate sprites against. But maybe we've taken for granted for too long that Mario has been immune to that facet, that asset for this entire time. So this level, I'm going to turn that on its head a little bit, force you to think kind of outside of the box, reimagine or get your head around moving Mario a slightly different way. And I think that's going to be a big part of it. People being able to, as is always the case, right? People being able to adjust rapidly to maybe something they've never seen before, and maybe a way to manipulate Mario that they've never really had to do before. And the faster they can get their head around that, I think the more success they'll have in the level.
It's going to be a fun one. I think we can all safely say. JankPickle has made some really fun RHR levels in the past. The last level they made, I think, was that auto-scroller shell level. I don't know if you remember that one, RBP.
I do. I think you're right. I believe that was their last level here, yeah.
So we're in for a treat. We've got about 15 seconds left before this thing kicks off. I hope you all are ready for a show, because it's about time.
I am absolutely ready.
1, video games.
There it is. And they are off.
L and R to reset.
Yep. So right there, there was a little bit. It's a little behind the scenes. There's a bit of difficulty getting message blocks to work. So JankPickle made sure that was up there clear, and we already see B2D using it right there.
Germ Dove already, I think, has got a knack of what's happening. So for those people that are just looking at this and wondering what the heck is going on. RBP, you want to explain it for the people?
Yeah, and I actually see Deboo in chat has nailed it, hit the nail right in the head. In this setting here, Mario is able to interact with 1F0. So normally what you see there happen at first when they hit that Koopa, that's what you normally expect. You know, you put a sprite on 1F0, kind of freezes or it maintains its momentum if it has momentum, and that's it. And Mario never interacts with it. In this, Mario interacts just like any sprite would. So you gotta think ahead, right? You approach somewhere and think, all right, how much momentum do I want? Because once I hit that 1F0, I can't change it until I'm off of it.
And when we say you can't change it, we mean you can't change it. Whatever momentum you end up on that 1F0 on, you're stuck.
That's right. You're stuck. There's no jumping out of it.
Yeah. And what you're seeing here is racers having to come to Germdove making a good break for it. Look at this is
oh, he's now okay. They're looking, they're getting, so they've got half of the notion there. Okay.
And they're stuck. And now we know why LNR to reset.
I would think.
Oh, I think I know what Germdove's done.
Yeah, if I'm Germdove, I'd be thinking right now, oh, I could reset, but if I can do this quickly, I can maybe see a little bit more of the level, and that is exactly what they're doing here. They're
very nice.
Open it out. All right, and now they see. Okay. Here's my plan. That is good race technique. You don't always, even if you know you're screwed or you know you're dead, you might want to just go forward anyway. You know, just to see a little bit.
We got a break out of it from Quiet Mason, though. We got Quiet Mason coming in. Quiet Mason also has the sprint. And I think Quiet Mason doing the intended tech here.
Quiet Mason, in fact, doing exactly what was intended, but going too fast. So you got to make sure that you let Mario and Yoshi come to rest there against the wall. Or else, yeah, because of the properties of one of and Quiet Mason clipping right into the ground there. Whoops.
Love to see it.
love to see it. That I gotta say, that interaction pretty rare. I got pushed into the ground once or twice, but I never had it to happen exactly like that.
JankPickle with the great explanation in chat. The 1F0s act like 1F0s.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Mario is not immune just because it's a special sprite. Mario is still a sprite, and as such.
That's right. They don't get special treatment. Ooh, okay. Making progress there.
Mason's getting some reads.
From the look of it, they know exactly what to do. They see the path forward. Now it's just a matter of training in, you know, what speed you're approaching with, and just getting the muscle memory down. From what I can see, it looks like all the racers everyone that's on the screen right now has, I mean, they've gotten comfortable with the notion pretty quickly, which is great, and not at all surprising. These are all very good, very experienced players. But yeah, they've immediately just kind of taken to this whole 1F0 idea.
Roke Games coming in just at the tail end of saying that they made it past that first Yoshi part and just died to that fire Koopa, or that fire shell.
Oh yeah.
So right now, I think Roke actually has made as much progress as anyone on screen.
And once again, so the way Roke died there, same way that Quiet Mason had died earlier, that got me a couple times in testing. Just, you want to go fast, but you also need to be just patient enough to not send Yoshi flying behind you. Ooh, a little bit unlucky for Mason there with the Koopa height and the tongue height. I was actually a little surprised that didn't grab there. The tongue went right underneath the Koopa. Unfortunate.
Something to note, chat, if you're wondering. When Mario is on Yoshi, Mario can dismount, and basically it looks like Mario is jumping. If Mario's not on Yoshi and Mario's just riding that 1F0, you're stuck. You can't do anything. So if you get off Yoshi ahead of time... Oh, Germdove with the... overshot the spring.
Ooh, pity.
Ooh.
Everyone making really, really solid progress here. I do love to see it. No, so far everyone is approaching, I think, exactly as JankPickle drew it up, or at least as exactly as I thought JankPickle drew it up. I haven't seen any really out of the box strats. I mean, other than clipping into the floor every now and again, but that happens.
Yeah.
But no,
You can't.
it looks
No cheese.
no cheese
You
yet.
gotta-
No cheese yet. Just there's a little there's the scouting opportunity that we saw people capitalize on there with getting through those turn blocks.
Mason making a run for it. And
And
Mason
that
is our
is an
first H of the
eight.
night.
There we go. Excellent job, Quiet Mason.
That is our first H of the night for Quiet Mason. Oh, ooh, okay. Now we're getting a little more complex. Things are starting to get a little spicier. We are now introducing some shells.
That's right.
Now,
We have.
I think many of our racers are used to 1F0s and shells, but maybe
Yes.
not quite like this.
Maybe not exactly. Maybe not with both Mario and the shell on 1F0.
Oh, Mason overshooting that chuck a little bit, but
Yep. So Mason just pushing forward there and seeing. I would guess that they'll approach this probably correctly this time. So as soon as they passed those coins, they saw the mushroom come out. I think I even saw a moment of hesitation. You never expect the mushroom, right, to just spawn out of the top of Mario's head.
never.
It's almost always a surprise. So there they were fishing for it. Now the way that those mushrooms spawn, right, you actually are hitting you're hitting an invisible object that pushes that mushroom out, and you don't always know exactly where it is. So sometimes when you're in a rush, like Mason was there, you can just miss it.
It looks like we have a breakaway for second place and a 4H.
Ooh. Okay, so does that make 2 there on the
That does
second
make
half?
2 on the second half. Now our scouts. By the way, as always, massive shout out to our scouts tonight. Osu, Mario Cartman, Star-Lord, and Kelgand with Fane on the restream, manning the 1s and 2s. Scouts reporting and made the H on their second attempt at the fireball.
Oh wow, excellent.
So, and made an absolute power read.
Very strong.
You love to see it.
Yep, as I'm sure the people watching have heard multiple times, the ability to make those fast reads is what decides races for sure.
Okay, so Mason had a shot at it, and also had a shot at it, and I think missing the throw blocks, but made it over that little muncher stack.
Excellent. Yeah, this is so. I would say that the obstacle that Mason and are coming up to right now is you like that? You like the and.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
This is probably so right. So when you're when we are doing testing and rating of the levels, you go through the level and you ask yourself what's the hardest thing to execute and what's maybe the brainiest thing to figure out. I think the part that and Quiet Mason are getting to, for me, I think was the most input difficult part of the level. I would say just kind of keeping control, getting the movement down, being careful with your momentum. There is actually misleadingly important. It may look, because all these players are very good, it may look pretty automatic, pretty just like, hey, you just go forward and it works, but it doesn't. You have to be careful about what your speed is and making sure you keep pace with everything else.
We have another H. Roke Games has H'd, and we might be starting to see a crew. We might very well be starting to see and there's an H for YFM.
Excellent. Fail. So all 4 on the second half, all 4 on the screen on the second half.
I think B2 has gotten the H off stream as well. So we've got 5 right now, at least on the second half. And Roke is going the wrong way. Roke went the very wrong way.
Well, they were probably just trying to get a good frame of reference. They're just trying to figure out what was going on.
So, and had the slow crawl of despair. That's the thing about these 1F0s, is that you go as fast as you hit them, and if you don't hit them very fast, you don't move very fast.
That's correct. So I'm looking. I think I see from the scouts that both B2D and Halcyon have also made it to the second half.
So we have ourselves a race, is what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely. I think these sections aren't particular. They're not excruciatingly long by any means. And I say that only to highlight that once you're all on the other side of the H, I mean, it really at any point someone could just make a dash for it.
That's the beauty of these types of levels, is that the parity is so strong, and Mason's making a run for it.
Oh, they see it. They're understanding
Oh,
the
no.
layup. Oh, and they just made the wrong jump choice.
But look at this. Look at
Good
the pause,
strat.
right? As the good pause strat. Chat, did you see what happened there? Mason realized what happened there. And Mason will course correct as such after a few entries and exits of the level for good luck and to reset the RNG.
Exactly.
So
always have to reset RNG, of course.
Always have to reset the RNG. So RBP, as a racer yourself that has done quite a few of these and won a handful of them too, when you're faced with something like this sort of throw block strat where the order of operations isn't exactly obvious, how do you as a racer try and figure out, okay, what order do I do these things in?
You try to. It's really one of those things that just it happens with time. I think the more that the more setups you see, and I know this is a somewhat not unhelpful answer, but maybe not. It's not like the exact recipe, but the real answer is just the more stuff you play, the more you'll see. Every permutation of a setup or something similar, you'll see it somewhere else. So it just makes it quicker in your head to see a lineup and go, oh, well, this looks really similar to this thing that I know I did successfully in this one hack. So I'm just going to start by approaching it that way. And then you just kind of, whittle down from there. If maybe that's not quite right, then, you adjust your timing here and there. But I guess the answer to your question is I try to rely on the things I know I've seen before and try to place whatever I'm looking at on the screen in that context, figure out what it's similar to, and then move from there. I'm sure there are some players, some gamers out there that can probably figure it out just by intense knowledge of how Super Mario World works. You can look at where a throw block is, where a shell is, and just do it like a physics problem, right? Because you just know how fast any particular things can move or how far they can go, and you can just figure it out from there. I envy those people.
I wish I could play like that. Yeah, and 4H has only been racing here for a couple of weeks. Hold on, Mason.
Oh
no.
That is terribly unfortunate. Throw crap at the wall until something works. Shoved is absolutely right.
Yeah,
that is the mission statement.
That is the correct answer. So that is an absolutely ingenious setup from JankPickle.
Yeah,
the 1-tile 1F0s, because we have spent the entire race pretty much proving that you don't want to touch those until you know exactly how fast and how what direction you want to travel in, and then it's just a string of 1-tiles that are basically just momentum killers.
See, now the thing that I really appreciate about that obstacle there at the end that Mason just got stuck on is that it's really not a guaranteed kill. And I appreciate the that kind of chaoticness, that freneticness about it. Like you can go through there, and even if you get stuck on one, you might have momentum heading back towards the hole, so you might still just survive. It's just a nice. I really appreciate that about it, because it's just on brand with the gimmick of the level, and it's just fun.
Yeah. So we had a question in chat. You lose control of direction when above 1F0. Think about a 1F0 is basically like a momentum pause button. Whatever direction and speed you enter a 1F0 in, you're stuck with that until you leave.
Yeah.
You can't jump, you can't move, you can't change direction, you can't change speed. Whatever you land on it with, you're stuck. And I will say, oh, Mason.
Wow, with the clear GG Mason. Excellently done. With how far they got, I mean, getting stuck in the 1F0, which is basically the penultimate trick. I'm sure that they, at that point, they've seen it. They've seen the path forward.
Mason with the pause strats too.
Knowing
pretty much exactly what to do the next time they got there.
Yeah, you cannot underestimate the value of just, it's a race. You want to go fast, but you can't underestimate the value. Oh, and you fail me.
There it is.
There's you fail me as well. GG, you fail me. Excellent.
Very, very rapid 1-2 there from YFM and Mason. I also love how you just
other's heels.
I love how you just freeze at the end of that. 1F0.
Yeah, that is a nice. Also, you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna fall off, but no, it's just you just get stuck, just like we saw Halcyon do right there.
So we got B2 back in here. We've got Halcyon, we've got Rogue Games, we got And4H. We got 4 racers that are closer than not to hitting that big H at the end.
That's right. And everyone's second half right now.
So we're about 17 minutes in. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. RBP, how's your weekend going so far?
My weekend is going okay. I'm always swamped with work these days. But hey, I'm grateful to have work to do. So it's been busy. But I get to take some time, carve some time out, watch some Mario, play some Mario. So it's all right. How about you?
It's all. I've had a lot of work as well. I had to work all day today. It wasn't exactly very fun, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here. You know what else I'm happy about, RBP? I'm happy it's C3 weekend.
Ooh.
Can you
tell me all about C3? Because I know the name, but I'm lacking on the details.
I would be happy to. So, twice a year, over at our dear friend SMW Central, they host what is called the SMW Central Creativity Convention, or C3.
It's all making sense now.
And basically what it is, for those of you that don't know, it is the biggest show and tell in the SMW community. So for 3 or 4 days, I believe it's going until Tuesday, we open a forum at SMW Central and say, show us what you're working on.
Oh.
And people come out in spades. We're very early on, and there have already been some absolutely amazing. Wait, Halcyon made it through the 1 tiles.
So close in testing, I did exactly that so many times. Those turn blocks down there are misleadingly close together.
Oh, and B2, B2 so close as well. Oh my goodness.
So sorry. So C3. So it's going on. Is it right now?
It is right now.
You
can go there right now to smwcentral.net and see all of the good things that are being shared with C3. But if you don't know what's up there, let me just tell you what has been shared so far. Some of the big things. Are you familiar with Wyatt?
I, in fact, was just playing their new Tired Mario hack right before I came here.
So Tired Mario World released into waiting today. Tired Mario World is a C3 submission.
Oh, look at that.
Speaking of look at that, Halcyon with 3rd place.
Hey, GG Halcyon, huge.
Sub 20 podium.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, JankPickle was just saying in chat they're a little worried about the jump at the end and whether or not it's possible if you get down there, even without your power up. But I think as I said, I tried that. I did, I tried to be thorough. I tried that jump a number of times and I was never able to get it. but it is remotely possible. It's remotely possible. There's a
It
good
is.
pixel you can get that'll carry you through there. Now, I saw someone. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was B2D. I did see it was a minute ago. I saw B2D manage something here that, and it looked like they were almost going to try to do it again. So they are B2D is approaching that bit with the chuck, which is that's a big order of operations problem. They are trying to do something that I tried to do in testing, and I again was never quite able to make it work. So I didn't bring it up as something that needed to be addressed. But I was suspicious. There's maybe a way you can get through there with the shell in your hand. It would be very hard to do because you can't have an item on your hand when you're on 1F0. It knocks it out of Mario's hands immediately. That's actually how that throw block setup works. But if you can throw that shell and knock it against, like knock it down the 1F0 at kind of just the right time that Mario's also on the 1F0, you might end up at the same place at the same time. I tried. I couldn't get it to work. And if it is possible, it is much harder than what JankPickle actually wants you to do. So I'm hoping B2D doesn't spend too long trying to do that.
We have seen time and time again the dangers of race brain.
That race brain is definitely a real thing. And back when I was still participating in the races, before I started testing, I would
before
say
we got a hold of you.
yeah. Before I was pulled off of the runway and dragged into a back room somewhere and set to work. No, race brain is the thing that would happen to me all of the time. I have fallen from, a podium spot down much further than that because you just look at one setup and you just think one way to do it, and you know that it's possible, and you don't slow down enough to think, just because it's possible, is there maybe something better?
Maxwell, I would not say that RB is officially retired from races. I would say that we're not letting him stop testing.
Yeah, definitely not officially retired. I'm sure I'll come back someday. I did pretty much all the testers, right? The last time I raced, I think, was week 200, I think.
Yeah, we tried very hard to give all of our testers the chance to race on week 200 for that one.
Yes. Fen is
You're
also
not lazy.
Not wrong.
That's not fair.
I do think about it every once in a while, and then I just never remember to put myself on hiatus, and I figure, well, I'm here. I'll just test again. No, I love testing. I really do. I enjoy being able to help out. Who do we have up here? We got Germ Dove, Rogue, B2D, and good mix. I think I saw Ender
Rogue,
Ender Thieves up there for just a second. It looks like, and I think they were on the second half as well.
They are.
I'm not positive. I think does that mean everyone is on the second half right now? Everyone that's racing?
We have 7 total people in the second half right now. We've got 4 racers that are still working on the first.
Gotcha.
We had 14 racers sign up tonight, so muchos gracias to everyone who came out and supported our little fun thing we've been doing here for, good lord, 220 plus weeks.
14, yeah, that's great. That is great.
We are old. Yes, it's true, Tom. We are old. We leave our jobs, we come home, we hang our coats up, we change into our cardigans, and we do rock hack races.
That is the life. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. Not at all.
And getting the right idea there. They got the right. Oh, B2D is in. Are they in the clear? Will they?
Let's find out. Can they get it? Hey.
There it is. Good job. GG B2D.
Do that Mega Man sound. Low-key, I love it every time B2 plays the Mega Man sound whenever he beats a RH. Oh, come on. Yo, next week's creator, or one of next week's creators, I should say, Prestinator13 joining us on stream.
Hey.
Prestinator and Kerr are teaming up for next week's level.
Oh, wonderful! And I think I just saw Kerr in chat, so we have full next week representation here.
Absolutely. Oh, you're a good fan. I just really like that jingle. No one else does a victory jingle, so I like it whenever B2s is able to make it onto the stream. This is not encouragement for you, everyone, to go and make a victory jingle. I'm just saying.
I was told that I had a pretty, when I was still racing, I had a pretty bad habit of not
You had the
switching
quickest
over.
trigger finger on your camera of any of our racers. I will say that. Like, if you finished a race level, you were back on camera within like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think I might have popped up on the restream more times than I'm sure anyone wanted me to. I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, not at all. We like seeing you. It's just funny. We've got Germdub, we got Rogue Games, we got Prestinator, and we've got And4H, all of whom are working on the second half of this level, from JankPickle.
From the looks of it.
And wait, look at And4H.
Oh, and they are in
go.
And4H. GG And4H. I was going to say, as far as I can see, everyone, and this is great and testament to JankPickle's level design here. It looks like everyone is approaching the way that they should be approaching anything. The order of operations bits, with the chuck and the shell and whatnot, it's not free. It's not super easy and super obvious by any means, but everyone is, it's painted out in a way that I think is sensible to digest for a Kaizo player, which is excellent. And Germdub doing a fantastic job getting and Rogue Games actually
Rogue Games. GG Rogue. And thank you for the raid, B2. Congratulations on your sub 30.
Hey, GG
well done.
B2D.
So I don't know if you've noticed this, RB. Oh, look. Oh, we got credits. We had a nice little shot of the credits level. The credits level, by the way, is very fun.
Yeah, I appreciate JankPickle making the credits level also based around the 1F0 Mario 1F0 gimmick. Appreciate that.
We've got Ender joining us on stream. So it's been a few weeks. Well, we've actually been doing this for quite some time. A few weeks ago now, we made a bit of a change to our difficulty rating. We used to include length in our overall difficulty, and after some community feedback and talking to some people, we took that out. So now we give length a score, but it doesn't factor into like the big number.
Correct.
And in general, this might just be I don't know if this is a trend or if this is a response to that. Overall, the difficulty levels have seemed to gone up a bit.
So
I'm saying that to point out we have had on a 5x5 level, a 5-star level with 5 for complexity and a 5 for execution. We have 6 racers that have finished in sub 30, including 2 racers who I believe are on like their less than 5th ROM hack race.
Wow. I mean, I gotta say, like, I think that the community as a whole has just been getting better. Like everyone's just getting better at playing Kaizo, and I think that's definitely part of it. I'm a big fan of the changes that were made to the ratings, and I think it's good and paints a good and accurate picture of the difficulty and what to expect in the level. But yeah, I really think I don't think the levels are getting easier. I think the people are getting better.
I think people are getting better, and I think designers are rising to the challenge.
Absolutely.
Speaking of designers rising to the challenge, I don't know if you saw this, but I was talking about C3 earlier. But have you played Super Louis Douce World?
I have not, and I've been seeing a lot of You Fail Me has been doing or was recently doing testing for Louis Douce World 2, I believe.
Which is
I have as not of this played the original.
As of this C3, Super Louis Douce World 2 is now available.
Oh, well, both of them are on the list for sure for me.
Gui is a phenomenal creator. If you did not play their level they made for us, you need to go play Gui's level because it is amazing. And if you love Oh wait, Germ Dove, real quick.
Hey, GG.
Shout out to Germ Dove for the GG right at the 30-minute mark. We got an official release date of 2/14, Valentine's Day. Louis is a Valentine's Day baby. That's awesome. I did not know that.
When we got first name Buddy joining us on the screen now.
Actually, I just saw that Louis got the H, so Louis should be coming up here on stream very shortly. Thank you to our scouts, by the way, for keeping everything on the up and up. Again, massive shout out to Star-Lord, Kelgand, for being scouts, Osu for being there as a scout, and then also massive shout out to Fane for running the ones and twos tonight, and also just being a phenomenal person.
Absolutely.
But yes, Super Louis Disay World 2 coming soon to a EverDrive near you.
It is.
Do people still use EverDrives? I don't think people use EverDrives anymore. I think that's just me being old.
I'm on an SD to SNES. I missed out on the EverDrive era. Well,
yeah. Sorry,
I have EverDrives for other systems. I have a GBA EverDrive, and I do have the Mega EverDrive. So I do still use EverDrives, just not for the Super Nintendo.
Insanit over here saying that they should probably release this one F-Zero block for C3. You know what? I agree. You know what else got released to C3? Someone, a long-time creator and a long-time influential sprite maker for Super Mario World. And I want to make sure I get their name right because they did some really cool stuff. Akaganite.
Ah, yes.
Released line-guided windmill platforms.
Oh, that's cool.
So you know how in the fortress level of Yoshi's Island they have like the ball and like the ball and chain platforms on the line guide? Akaganite made that using the SMW multi-platform.
Fascinating.
And it's really good. They also made a whole bunch of custom boo rings, which are just horrifying and amazing. You can check that out on SMW Central as part of C3, now live through Tuesday.
Very cool. I will have to go check all of that out. We have Ender of Games making some progress here.
Ender of Games making progress. We got the near birthday person themselves, Louis Doucet. Yeah, Mythrillionaire with the lore. Akaganite made the homing killer sprite.
Oh.
And if you don't know what I mean by that, you probably know it as the Himari ball.
Yes, yeah, I did not know that was them.
So, deep lore in chat.
Louis taking
you family needs to watch someone else play Tired Mario World. You family, Tired Mario World is easy. You don't run.
That's right. It's so slow. You have so much time to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, it's you just walk everywhere. It's easy. Shout out to you, Gami. But we talked about being old in chat earlier, and as an old, I don't know if you want to join me in that, but as an old.
Oh, I'm up there.
Okay. There is one thing that I've seen at C3 so far that has made my heart very happy, and that is Sokoban Solver.
Oh.
Sokoban Solver, for those of you that don't know, is an OG. They made. They were one of the original judges of one of the first 3 KLDCs. They have been around since the early 2010s, making some incredibly influential hacks.
Yeah. Now, which is there?
You may have heard of maybe Mario Must Die.
Sure. Yeah.
You may have heard of that. Sokoban Solver has released Mario Must Die 3.
Okay.
You can't. It's not going to be submitted, but you can download it, and you can see it. And I will tell you what: if you are a fan of the early days of Kaizo design, the anonymous Bloodlust days of Kaizo design, you should check out Mario Must Die 3. It is an absolute joy to watch. I can't say it's a joy to play, but it is a joy to watch.
Interesting. Okay, I'm keeping that one on the list as well.
Yeah,
that list is very long.
That list is very. There is so much, and it's across the board. It's
so
new
much
tools. Fernap out here making USD Uber ASM 2.0.
Ooh.
And releasing that at C3, or at least releasing a beta of that at C3. There's a new Super Mario Brothers 3 editor that's in progress.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I heard about that.
It's going to be able to edit All Stars SMB3.
Oh wow. That's
so
great.
it'll be all SMB3, NES, SNES, and Game Boy.
Huh. Incredible. Yeah,
there's
that's
a new
lot.
There's a new collab hat for Slopcore, the Fellowship.
Oh, now is that the one that Slopcore has already played and had access to, and they're officially releasing it? Or are they doing another one?
I believe this is the one that Slop has already played.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that they're releasing it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they are officially releasing it. There's a new Yogui hack.
Oh.
For those of you standard hard sickos out there. Yeah, sickos are eating well this C3.
It sounds like
it. Put it mildly. Some of the most beautiful graphics you'll ever see in your life that have come out of SMW. Amazing music. Some of the best music has come as part of C3 releases from some of the prominent porters in the community. Ultima, Segment 1, Zone 2. Oh my gosh, Shabda, you have made my life. BK is moderating the new Yogui hack. And I'm sure everyone needs to watch that. I will say this right now. Everyone needs to take time out of their lives to watch BK play the new Yogui hack. You will not regret a second of it. Yeah. New Yogui hack. There's other really cool stuff that has been coming out. I'm just going through it because there's just
Ender of games they're getting a really unfortunate speed value and then getting wrapped to the underside of the 1F0. I think they're just kind of admiring the situation they found themselves in.
I have seen a few people, and maybe you can talk to this. It looks like a couple people have gotten stuck on the bottom of the 1F0.
So with how these 1F0 tiles, I'm not actually JankPickle.
Yeah, they're tiles. They're
tiles. Okay,
they're tiles.
Just the way that they're laid out, you can, if you come in at just the right angle, you can kind of squeeze between the 1F0 and the tile below it. So you get kind of pinned in, it looks like you're like this weird lower position. You can just get kind of pinned in there, which has some unfortunate consequences. It misaligns you with tile edges. So when you normally, if you're in a spot where you normally just pop off the 1F0 and be able to run on the ground or on a turn block or something, you'll just get knocked against the side of it, which is unfortunate. Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often. You do really kind of have to nail the angle for that to even happen. And it is just, it's not one of those things I think anyone has any power to really prevent. It's just kind of, it's the nature of the beast. It's the price you pay for this wacky Mario 1F0.
Okay, I just saw something across the C3 and I have to say it because I'm really excited about this. Like, this is big stuff. So, hopefully many of you are familiar with the ROM Hack Races base ROM. It is the base ROM that we provide to all of our creators to not only make levels for us, but to serve as sort of your first real introduction to big custom SMW creation.
Mm-hmm.
I love the ROM Hack Races base ROM. I'm biased. Ampersand and Underway do absolutely incredible work with it. It's a good base ROM. It's not the only one. And I just saw this. As C3, SJ and Charlie the Cat has released the Flux base ROM.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you're not familiar with the journey SJ and Charlie the Cat has been making for this, they have been working on this base ROM for a long time. And if ROM Hack Races is the introduction or your first sort of streamlined base ROM, think of the Flux as the Cheesecake Factory base ROM. It's got everything. 275 Uber ASMs, 200 sprites, 200 patches and fixes, 150 blocks plus.
Ooh, that's a lot.
That's
a non-trivial amount of stuff.
And I want to give a shout out to SJ and Charlie the Cat because they have put so much effort and so much of their time and energy into making this a resource for the community, and it is live, and I'm so happy for them. So
excellent.
Massive shout out to SJ.
Excellent. I just saw Preston pop up in the chat. Preston, excellent job.
Good job. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. That is, it's a tough setup for sure.
Absolutely no shame whatsoever. We've got Louie, we've got Ender, we've got First Name Buddy, and we've got Proto Pizza still working on this 5-star level from JankPickle. If you're just tuning in, first off, welcome in. We're happy you're here. We're happy you're checking this out. I'm Doc. That's RBP.
Hello.
And we are here to step you through it. If you want to see what you missed and who all has already finished, ! leaderboard in chat will take you to our real-time leaderboard so you can see who all has already checked this out.
So I think I'm going to try to show off my ability to actually read the scouting tool here. I believe 7 have finished.
Make that 8.
And 8, yep, 7 have finished, and 8 with Preston. Oh, did someone else? And Louis do say just getting through.
Louis
right now.
Just crossed it over.
That 8, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left still racing. Excellent job.
Excellent job, everyone. We're still here for we schedule up to 2 hours for these things, but increasingly y'all have gotten so good that we don't need all 2 hours. I'm not saying we might, but we like sticking around. It's good for the Twitch metrics. Not that we necessarily care about those too much. We're not out here trying to take your... We're not out here trying to sub. We appreciate your support. If you do sub to us or donate to us, we do greatly appreciate it. All of the money that we take in here at this channel goes back into making the tools to make these races happen. Our scouting tool, our restream tool, that are both custom made for us by some amazing people like Kelgan, Chris G, and D4. By the way, big shout out to Kelgan for helping streamline a lot of this stuff. He does some massive behind the scenes work that not a lot of people see that are just so huge for us as a community. So Kel, I hope you know we appreciate you. We'll have plenty more stuff for you to do in the future.
Thank you for everything you do.
But we got coming up. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we got everyone working along the same things, and I said already, but I'm seeing a lot of, I think, what I kind of anticipated in terms of where people are spending most of their time and trying to think through the nailing the speed. So you can see Ender of Games right there. That move, getting the speed you need there to actually line up with that Chuck. You know, that is a tough thing to do reliably. You can see Endless Ascent just got the wrong speed there, came in too late. The Chuck had moved too far back, killing him against the Munchers there. So and then exactly what Prestinator pointed out, the getting the order of operations and the execution for the shell toss Chuck jump part there, you know. So I'm seeing a lot of, I guess, kind of what I figured. I also just saw First Name Buddy there try to get, so that there is a jump there that is just barely possible. Normally you want to throw block the throw block and then spin jump off of that with the mushroom to continue forward. You can just make it to that wings block. Unfortunately, if you at that point you just don't have your mushroom anymore, you will at some point not be able to beat the level. but I see them going for it every once in a while.
It's impressive, if not helpful.
Yes, even if ill-fated, I do love seeing people. You can't just always take the level 100% for granted. You got to push against the pen a little bit.
Correct.
You know, just because you can see what's meant to be done. Sometimes what's meant to be done is just so much easier than anything else that you want to stick to the script. But just because you can see what's meant to be done doesn't mean you have to do that. If you can see another path, it may be worth exploring.
I have said multiple times during my time in commentary, as Ender is making a break for it. Very nice.
GG, Ender of Games.
And that's good. That's my one little piece of advice to anyone who is racing. The best swag strat of all is winning. Mm-hmm. Winning is the swaggiest strat of all. As we've got IC Fennel, or Eek Fennel, I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly, but they are still working on the first half of this level. And let's be clear, this level is hard. This level is quite difficult. So there is no shame whatsoever in anyone being at any point in this level. So I believe they're a new eraser, so we're happy to have you, and we're excited to see some progress. And it looks like you're doing just fine.
Excellent. I love seeing new people, new racers, new people, joining in. Love seeing it.
This is our final four, according to
There we
Fame.
go.
This is our final four.
Proto Pizza.
Endless Ascent, Eek Fennel, First Name Buddy, and Proto Pizza. Well done, everybody.
Excellent.
Now, one thing we haven't talked about. If you want to make this for yourself, if you want to see what you can do in terms of giving these levels a shot, this level and all 227 of the levels that have come before it are available for you to download, both from our website at romhackraces.com. I almost said SMW Central. romhackraces.com. Mm-hmm. You can download this and all 228 weeks worth of levels. But you can also just get them from our Discord, which is a thing that we can thank our friend Kel for. If you go to our Discord, which you can find a link to here in chat at !Discord, you can talk to our friend Rami, and Rami will hook you up.
There we go.
All you gotta do is ask for a level, and Rami will get you the patch. It's quite magical, if I'm being honest.
That is magical. You know what? I should have known that was a thing, and I just learned that right now.
And that's why I'm happy to share it. I'm happy to share it. Also, I'm happy to share, if you are interested in making a level for ROMHack Races, you can see a full calendar of our upcoming races on our Discord. You can also subscribe to that calendar for whatever calendar app you use, Google, Microsoft. If you use just your phone calendar, you can add it there too, and you can see who all is going to be making levels for us. Next week, it's Prestinator and Kerr.
Oh.
Elusive, you can sign up for whatever week you want.
I'm
just
sure
as long as you're not kicking.
2025 is probably wide open right now.
Probably. I can't say that for certain, but Elusive, if you want to find it, yes. And you know what? Feign with the appropriate retort. If this is what it takes to get an elusive level in 2025, then you know what? We'll take one for the team. Elusive has made it for us before.
They have, and I think Elusive's levels, not the first, but one of the earliest levels that I played when I started doing the ROMHack races.
If you want to Smashing Pumpkins. Yes. If I remember correctly.
Yes. I was going to say, I think it had like a Halloween or ghost theme to it.
I have been here for too long. I've done this too much, and I know way more about these levels than any sane person should. But if you want to see it for yourself, all you have to do is go to Discord and do a little / command for get level, and then you can just pick Elusive as your creator, and it'll pop right up, and you can get the patch right away. No, Kel, don't say that. Elusive's going to take the whole year if you say that. I do. It's a good level. It's a good level. All of our levels are good levels. What am I saying?
I can see
all of my levels are my favorite child.
Proto Pizza, understanding the order of operations now, still the lining up and making sure you're not too far forward too early at that setup with the chuck and the shell is very important. If you push forward a little early and then slow yourself down, you're gonna get a potentially unaccountable lineup between Mario and the extendy block that's in the wall there, which of course you need to stay alive. It gives you a generous single pixel of coverage that you can land on, and if you spawn it a little too early, not that it doesn't make it impossible, it just makes it maybe harder to guess or harder to line up when exactly you're going to be able to get on it, which can be a problem.
I think the pixel of safety sort of is one of those things that has become just accepted Kaizo visual language over the past few months. Because I remember that used to be, I don't want to say obscure, but I feel like I've seen the corner pixel of safety like a whole lot more in recent months.
Yeah, I think it wasn't as common before, and I think that if I was to guess, because I knew of that, of things like being able to balance on the edge of extendy blocks, or being able to balance on, say, the edge of a dolphin, vertical dolphin, as long as you have a wall to push and line up against. And I feel like the proliferation of that obstacle type probably came from it being used as safety or as cheese in earlier hacks. Mm-hmm. And you do it enough, people become familiar with it enough, and then it's kind of like, well, you know what, this is fine. We can just make an obstacle or a level around this.
It's funny. The original Kaizo strats, like shell jumps and regrabs and things, were that from the vanilla speedrun. Mm-hmm. So things like a shell jump, which you was like, how would you know how to do that in the first place? Well, you would know how to do that if you're a vanilla speedrunner, and you're looking for every single possible
everything that you can
frame to
possibly
save.
Do. Oh, Proto Pizza making a run for it. Proto Pizza
No.
Oh no, they can save this. Oh, they can't now.
That
was maybe the luckiest. So if you saw there, they got pushed along by the 1F0 and came to rest on a ground tile, somehow not colliding with the muncher right next to them. They must have been a single pixel away.
that would have been the save of the century if they and no shame for them for not pulling it off. That's incredibly hard, but
they got close. They got
very close.
I have seen Icy Fantil or Ice Fantil, Ickfanil? Icy Fanil.
I'm not sure.
Ice
either.
Fanil. But you just saw Ice Fanil. I like that. You just saw them there. So they get to the part with the Yoshi and coming up to the Yoshi with the spring. And I've seen them a couple times now. They see the direction of the level, so they're still thinking along that direction there, and they're trying to throw the spring forward. They're basically trying to skip one of the little spring pens, and just jump over that, go to the next one, throw the spring in front of them, and continue on from there, which unfortunately I don't think is ever going to work out. So the execution there that we've seen already is you got to throw the spring behind you. And the only reason you do that, by the way, is just to get an accountable speed, right? A thing that a speed of the spring moving along the 1F0 that you can predict. It's the entire reason that you're throwing it behind you there. I mean, in theory, you could just drop it as long as you could get exactly the speed that you want to, or at least a speed that would be conducive to you. But throwing it against that back wall there is going to make that much, much easier. To JankPickle's credit, they did put a coin there.
They did.
They've done what they can as a creator.
Again, massive shout out to JankPickle. I know they said earlier in chat that they like taking control away from the player, which is very hard to do and make the player feel comfortable and enjoy the level. Like, so it's a testament to JankPickle's skill as a creator that they can do something that feels so like out of your control. And trust me, like you have no control when you're on these 1F0s, none at all. So to make a level that uses that much, out of the hands of the player and still make it both look cool and feel good to play,
Absolutely.
That's hard to do. And so big shout out to JankPickle for this week's level.
It is definitely hard to do. Proto Pizza making another stab. Oh, and overshooting. I'm surprised if anyone doesn't die that way. Because even after I had beaten the level once, I still did that at least once in further testing.
Let they who has not overshot a breaking block while spin jump pogoing off of them cast the first stone.
Exactly. I can't. It's got to be a small subset there of people.
So, chat, what have you all been playing? So, I know I see some of you. I see what you're doing. I know you get down. What have you been playing? What have you been playing, RBP?
So before I answer to that, and while Chad is answering, I will say I was on the various social medias and I saw someone from the SMW community, and I don't remember who it was, but they it's just they were like working on a game somewhere. I guess they're making something outside of Mario. And I got a chuckle because they were saying one of their friends messaged them and asked them, what's that aspirate game they keep playing all the time?
By the way, shout out to Proto Pizza.
Hey,
for getting the
GG
clear.
Proto Pizza. Huge.
It was close. Speaking of non-SMW games, you know who released the first look at their brand new indie game that they are making as a C3 release?
And who's this?
One Anonymous Bloodlust.
Oh, I have seen some stuff about that.
So if you are not familiar, Anon, after finishing Hacker's Dream, has been working on an actual brand new standalone game, entirely new game. And they released a look at it and announced that there would be people streaming it over the course of C3. So take a look at C3 for Anon's post there and check out what they've been working on. Yo, Proto Pizza, thank you for the raid. And GG, well done. Sub-hour on a 5-star level is nothing to sneeze at whatsoever.
Yeah, very, very well done. Some good attempts from you at the end there. Trying to wiggle through the little 1F0 cage at the end. Excellent job.
Well done. So what have you been playing, RVP? Because I see a lot of not SMW in chat, and I get it, but
well, I do still play a lot of SMW, just period. I was working on another playthrough of Elden Ring. Always fun to sink some hours into, and I absent-mindedly play an irresponsible amount of Rocket League. If I'm being honest, if I'm putting my cards on the table, bare in my soul here, I do play more Rocket League than I should. But it's very comfortable for it's a thing I just shut my brain off, helps me kind of wind down.
Yeah.
Which apparently I have a desire to shut my brain off and wind down for many hours often.
I'm right there with you. I will say I have fallen in love with Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh yeah, it looks fantastic. I would love to play it. Ice Vanilla there. Okay, Ice Vanilla finding the path. You saw that they got the right throw.
We have the brief pause. We have the brief pause of enlightenment at the beginning of that level after that attempt.
Yeah, breathing it in, seeing the whole picture. That is excellent. That's good use of the pause button. But no, Hi-Fi Rush. I've seen it. Looks fantastic. I have not played it yet. It is definitely on the list.
It's very good. It is very good.
I
am annoyingly supportive of that game any chance I get. It's a very good game.
Yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. And amazing that it was made, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but it was made by a hard development team, right?
It was made by the team that did Evil Inside.
Yeah, that's quite the coin flip. My goodness, that's you know.
Well, here's what you need to know, and this is by the way, ADD. Congratulations on Plumber for All Seasons. That is an absolutely masterpiece of a hack.
You know, I secretly, super secretly, I have been working very poorly at implementing a bunch of strats that Schema Tuna made and actually doing a full competent speedrun of Plumber for All Seasons. Because Tuna made some actually really good pathing and strats for the whole game. So I've been, for like a year now, I've been saying I'm going to get around to actually doing that speedrun.
So it is true that the director of GG Endless Ascent, by the way,
Endless Ascent also making it absolutely incredible.
I believe Endless Ascent made it past the 1F0 cage without getting stuck.
Oh, excellent.
But the director of Hi-Fi Rush, yes, did work on Evil Inside and Evil Inside 2. But before working on Evil Inside, worked on a small game that may mean something to you if you're of a certain generation, Beautiful Joe.
Oh, that was them? No way. I
remember
that game, and I did not know that was the same people.
It starts to make a little bit more sense now, doesn't it?
It does. Now, yes, now I see it. Now I see it.
The best description I heard of Hi-Fi Rush is that it has massive Capcom 6 energy, which just is my sweet spot.
See, Ice Vanilla is definitely, I can see them making progress. I think that they will probably find their way to the age in good time here.
Yeah, and they're doing, I mean, everyone here is doing absolutely fantastic. So please, if you think oh, we've got 2 racers left, it's no, these players are legit. A 5-star level, a 5-star level is very, very tricky.
Absolutely. Yeah, 5-star level. Any level that goes up for ROM hack races, nothing to sneeze at. You gotta, at any point in time, you gotta remember it's still Kaizo. You know, it's an easy Kaizo level, still Kaizo. And this is, as a 5 is definitely not an easy level either.
This is not an introduction of
No, you gotta be pretty competent, and really the somewhat the subtle knowledge and awareness of maintaining speed and thinking about Mario speed versus what are the other sprites on the screen doing, where do I have to intersect with them, and having to plan all that out at the beginning of 8 tiles of 1F0, not in the moment. Every instant being able to correct and adjust is really, it's a test of Mario familiarity.
Myth makes a good point. Myth, by the way, another one of our testers, and I do want to shout out all the testers because I don't think I've done that entirely in its full yet. So I want to make sure I give all the testers a shout out, including you, RVP.
Thank you.
So a big shout out to our testers, Kerr, Myth, RBP, Walking Eye, Don Waffle helped out with this one as well.
Spirit of Fen as well.
Yes.
So they do pretty much everything.
It's Solve for X. Yes, I want to make sure I get Solve for X in there as well.
Yes, and Solve for X.
We have been absolutely blessed with some incredible players and makers to serve as testers for us over the years, and we have probably the strongest batch we've ever had.
I'm really glad to see all the people that are available and help out with testing. I mean, when you all asked, when I came in to start to help testing, it was because you were kind of running low on people for a couple weeks, if I understand correctly, and now it seems exactly the opposite.
We never want to tell people they can't help, but I will say that we are truly blessed with everyone who has stepped up to help make this. It takes an army.
Yeah, yeah.
And
A lot of work
I'm not
behind it.
afraid to I'm not afraid to say that I tried to do too much by myself for a long time, and now that we have an army, I realize how silly that was. Um, so big shout out to everyone who makes this event possible every week. I think it's a testament to the legacy of ROM hack races that some of the makers and some of the racers that you see here go on to become mainstays in the community, and some of them, in fact, getting their start here. And to be that bridge to the community and that bridge to the activity is something that I take very seriously and something I'm grateful to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Fen said, shout out to the racers.
Oh, we couldn't not do this without y'all. It
You,
would be
you
so
are you
weird to
are
have a
in
race
fact
every week with no racers.
Yep, you are in fact the stars. No, I mean the ROM hack races is wonderful. It's definitely part of the. It helped me get good, I guess. You know, if you want to put it in the most basic terms, it was very helpful for me just learning how to play Kaizo and how to get comfortable with learning new things, adapting to mechanics and other things that I just hadn't seen before. And I do, every time I see new people join and someone else start racing that wasn't racing before, it makes me feel good and feel like the ROM hack races it does a great job of being accessible, I guess, and available, and showing other people like, hey, here's 15 people that are all just hanging out and racing this level, that are all of various levels of familiarity and years of experience, or months of experience, or however long playing Mario, and it's not that scary. I could do it too, which is a wonderful thing.
We are better as a community for the hacks that you have made, so that makes me really, really, really happy to see. So thank you for sharing that. And we get a Kerr level next, or a Kerr Prestinator.
That's right.
Double feature. Well, joint track,
operation. That's right.
Which Prestinator, no stranger to ROM hack races, actually has made levels for us before, or I think just the one so far. So this is, I think, their second level here.
Yeah. Okay. I remember their last level.
Yeah. Their last level, I think, is a standalone, or wasn't for a while, a standalone release on SMW Central. But I will say that Kerr might hold claim to the dean of creators for ROM hack races, with probably more credits than most, if not all, other creators over the course of the past 200 weeks.
I'd be willing to believe that.
I know it's Kerr or Orca. Which, by the way, shout out to Orca. Eternal shout outs to Orca BLM.
Super Mike, that's awesome to hear.
It is.
Icy Fanil getting it again. Okay, so I completely understand where their thought process is going here. So I had the same problem a little bit too the first time I played through the level. They're kind of stuck in the notion that they to just let the spring go forward, because I think in their head they see what's coming up and they're thinking, get the spring into the corner, and Yoshi will kind of smudge up onto the spring, and if I time it right, I can get a couple jumps in the corner off the spring and continue forward. It is hard to look through and think through that actually you might want to go in front of the spring, because it's also hard and maybe a little counterintuitive to think through the fact that Mario can still jump off of Yoshi while Yoshi is on the 1F0. So hopefully they can get through that thought process there.
We talked about race brain earlier, and it's so interesting to me that race brain affects everyone, no matter how experienced you may have in terms of the number of these races.
Yeah.
Race brain is universal in a
absolutely.
very unique way that I like. you think you see it, and then you feel like you're just throwing yourself against a wall to make something impossible happen, and then in the moment you don't realize, oh, I'm throwing myself against a wall when there's a door like right next door to it.
Mm-hmm. It definitely happens. And it's hard, it's a combination of things that it's just pressure or adrenaline and that just continuously thinking I want to go fast can really be a can cause problems. It can be a something you gotta teach yourself to kind of work around and remember that you're gonna think like that sometimes, and you gotta slow down every once in a while. First name Buddy here having a little this movement off of that platform. So you move off the platform, you slide, and then you kind of you meet up with the platform down below. It actually just works. So they're getting it to work there. It works every time if you just fall right off. As long as you're holding jump, you just let the thing slide out from under you, fall right down, lines up perfectly. And that, as far as race brain related stuff, that's a good, I think, a practice that I try to implement when I'm racing is remembering that the person that made it almost certainly played through it as well. And generally speaking, most creators don't really have an interest in making things unpleasant. So when you look at little things, you look at it and you're like, wow, timing that falling platform against like slope speed, which has small oscillations, like that seems maybe a little aggressive. And then, don't get stuck, don't stop at that thought. Maybe then think, well, wait a minute. If that is a little aggressive and something that someone wouldn't enjoy doing, maybe there's a precisely reliable strat. Maybe I should just try something that a human would enjoy doing.
Omnom, welcome in, and for Omnom and for everyone else, if you're seeing this for the first time, let us explain to you, I should say, what's going on. The little bridge tiles you see are, in fact, 1F-Zeros that are universal 1F-Zeros. They affect every sprite, and that includes Mario. And it is a true 1F-Zero, which means once you start, you can't stop. So racers have been having to navigate this. Oh, what is Eisvanel trying to wait for the spring to come back?
Yeah, they're just trying. I think right now they're just looking and thinking like maybe I can. Well, let's see if they figure out that they can jump off of Yoshi. So they figure out they have control, and then they just took the death instead. Maybe that was enough though. Maybe they could see they could still spit out Yoshi's tongue. Maybe they'll get the idea.
So anytime Mario hits a 1F-Zero, his momentum and direction are locked. And you can't jump off the 1F-Zero. You have to fall off the 1F-Zero.
That's right. Mario getting treated just like any other sprite. Getting
sprite equity here at ROM Hack Races tonight.
That's right.
Mario has had too much sprite privilege. We need to check some of that sprite privilege for a week.
Exactly. Now he knows what all of those poor Koopas that he has sent sliding across tiles of 1F-Zero feel like. It really is it's such a simple, when you think about it in terms of like, well, what mechanic or what's actually being added here. It's really just, it's just getting locked in and moved a certain distance. So it's simple, but it really is fascinating how much you can do with it and how much you can make a kind of specific type of difficulty through just putting 1F-Zero that affects Mario. It's
very fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's not highly convoluted. It doesn't, it's not like learning a whole new rule set or anything. It's really a simple concept with an easy to understand consequence. And what it does and the implications for you as the player are pretty straightforward. But it still does add a fascinating amount of difficulty. You were expecting ice physics? A little different.
This is not ice. This is stasis.
Exactly. Yeah, that is. Mario's just stuck in stasis until you can get off the one F-Zero. Get off the magical tile.
I mean, context endless. I'll take butter over ice too, but not in every situation.
Oops, all stasis. I can't believe it's not
Ice.
ice.
Yes, coming soon from the makers of Da Vinci's fancy yellow mustard. I can't believe it's not ice. I'm not going to do an old-timey radio voice for that, though.
That is okay.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Glitch is out this week. We're here holding down the fort while Glitch is getting some necessary things done. So, Glitch, if you are watching this back, we love you. We miss you. Hope to have you back soon, but we're happy to be here to talk through this really cool level and be here and share this all with y'all, because we're happy you're here too. All right, let's see if Ice Vanel has figured something out. They are waiting for the spring to come back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Let's see if they... Okay, now they know they can jump.
There we go. Okay, so that is good. So maybe that's what they need to figure it out.
Yeah. I think back to something Glitch says often in times like this. When you're facing and what you were describing earlier, when you're really wrestling with an obstacle like that, keep in mind the difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 5-star level, which I will say is nothing to sneeze at. But usually in a 5-star level, there's nothing that's just headbutting a brick wall required.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself thinking that the strat is, oh my gosh, this is headbutting a brick wall, how is anyone supposed to do this? Maybe it's worth taking a second to say, why am I thinking this is so hard?
Mm-hmm.
Is this really what a 5-star level would ask me to do?
Yeah, and that is a really important thing to think about and question to ask yourself, and also just a good check, a good thing to think through to make sure that you're along the right lines, that you're doing the right thing. Because if it's a 4 or a 5, and you end up with a shell in your hands, and you can get from point A to point B by doing a Xiao signature turnaround shell drop shell bop. Well, you can do that, but maybe just wonder, is that really would one of those silly little testers really give this level a 4 if that was a required trick? And we probably wouldn't, and so we can use that to think through and double check and readjust.
Well, to be clear, one tester might, but that's why we have more than one tester. That's why we have a variety of skills and a variety of perspectives when we do testing, so that we can get as close to a fair representation as we can. See, here's a really sneaky thing about the 1F0. So, you're on Yoshi riding 1F0. You can use Yoshi's tongue, and you can jump off Yoshi. But you can't duck.
That is true.
Now,
so
normally,
you can't lean down. That's right. Yep.
So, you can't grab the spring on the way back.
That's right.
Which is, I don't know if that was an intended layered strat from JankPickle, but if so, bravo. Bravo. Because normally, again, for those of you that may not know, you can grab a spring with Yoshi, but you have to duck to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you can't duck as Yoshi on the 1F0, de-cheesing that particular... Because Ice Vanel had a good idea. And it's a testament to Jank.
And you know what? And when I first looked at this level, that was one of the things that I tried. I I just again testing the pen, seeing like what can I do, what am I prevented from doing. That was the first thing I thought, like, well, can I get this spring in Yoshi's mouth, and what good would that do me anyway? So yeah, definitely good, is a good thought process on their part.
Kaizo design has become, like, it's always been this. It's just maybe a little, I don't want to say easier to see it now, but maybe a little bit more transparent. There's always been this aspect of puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, there's always been like all right, now what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And I'd say conventionally a puzzle in terms of order of operations, or just finessing the timings of things until you can see the gap open up that is your path, which is of course distinct from the Kaizo puzzle level.
And endless shouting out Mangort, which if you did not watch the race 2 weeks ago, Mangort had an absolute like galaxy brain strat for dealing with something that there was another way to do, but Mangort found something that just blew our minds.
Now, which
and if you haven't seen it, this was 2 weeks ago, which would have been, oh my goodness, Mason, the 8-star.
Quiet Mason's level. That was a tough level too.
Yes, that was probably one of, if not the toughest level we've ever had here.
Oh yeah, that was hard. That was a hard level.
And Mangort found an absolute just a mind-blowingly incredible strat. And then to Fan's point, found that strat and then made it work.
Huh. I will have to go check that out.
Oh wait, Ice Vanel. Oh, Ice Vanel.
Oh no, so doing exactly the right thing, but just not taking the time to let Yoshi come to rest.
We have a knowledge PB, everybody.
Indeed,
we have a knowledge PB.
They can see I think they can see the way forward now. The issue. So, Buddy there is making it work with. It's such a small but insidious thing that they've given a lot of attempts to just that numbered platform, and kind of taking their freeform approach at getting the timing to line up, which kudos to them for finding a timing that lines up. But that, sacrificing those attempts over and over again, it adds up after a while. And I know it's such a small thing, but it does add up.
Buddy is getting close.
Yeah, they're seeing the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Vanilla also looking. They're a little short on that jump. I don't think they can. Yeah, and they know. Ice Vanilla knows exactly what they're doing now.
You love to see it.
Progress is what it's all about. So Buddy is also, I've noticed this on both of the chucks here. They are taking an extra hit against both chucks. So they're hitting them once to actually register a hit and put them in the chuck stun state. At which point, when you bounce off them, they don't impart momentum. You bounce off a chuck, right? It sends you with an extra push either to the left or the right. So they're exhausting that impact and then hitting the chuck again to then go forward to continue to progress to the next point in the obstacle. Unfortunately, that's given them situations where they're on the wrong side of the chuck for a little too long, and they're sending the chuck the wrong way. You can see them trying to go for it right there. Both of those setups, you can just hit the chuck once and kind of use the arc of your jump to carry you around those munchers. Making it work here, but it's gonna be a problem for them in the next chuck setup, because that movement's got to be pretty fast.
I think they know what they need to do.
I think now
it's a matter of consistency.
Mm-hmm. And Ice Vanilla right now experiencing the woes of trying to line up cycles with a spring. Just one of those, you spend just bouncing off a spring itself takes a surprising amount of time. The actual just the spring compressing and then sending you off into the air. And then you're off in the air for a relatively long period of time. So it doesn't give you a lot of freedom to kind of adjust and, and get exactly the point that you want, right? Because Ice Vanill's got to be a certain distance forwards before they make the jump off the spring and can actually reach the Yoshi. So it can definitely be frustrating sometimes. Just keep getting just before that, and you see that you're just before that, but you can't really adjust. You don't because the adjustment you need to make is too short, right? Can definitely be frustrating. Oh, and here's Ice Vanilla making progress and ditching the Yoshi, which I'm sure was completely accidental, and discovering that those munchers are nominal.
Surprise.
Surprise. Nominal munchers. Friendly little munchers. They're just there for intimidation.
They're just munching there menacingly. We have another knowledge PB though for Ice Vanilla.
Yes. They're seeing their way forward. Getting through the first section. B2D, I'm gonna have to go back and look at what level that was that you're referencing.
Insanit's made a few. So I don't know if I remember that one, but I know it's been a second since Insanit's had a level.
Unfortunate up throw there. Up throws are, I have blamed my controller for everything possible, and a couple things that aren't possible. Up throws are definitely one of those things that equipment definitely contributes. You can have a real loose D-pad that's really prone to diagonals, and getting a diagonal up can be a really unfortunate thing depending on what the item is. But I think one of the things that is helpful, that is helpful to be conscious of, is that you don't you do have some power over just how you hold the controller, and you don't have to hold the controller the same way all the time. So depending on what it is you need to do, and if you know that you're going through a section where you're going to be turning left and right a lot, and you need to get throws off reliably, just kind of twist your thumb down. At least that's what I do, because I get in the habit of having my thumb sometimes kind of straight across, or it kind of starts to wander up a bit. So maybe a little bit of it is touching higher on the D-pad. So just, rotate, push downwards a little bit, pull yourself away from that up button. If you know that you're going to be doing a lot of stuff, doing a lot of wiggling, that might give you accidental up presses. Just,
and there's
the important thing to remember there is that you have power. You have things that you can do.
Yeah, Buddy, again, sending the chuck the wrong way.
Yeah, because they're going for that second hit. That's Ice Vanilla. And they tried to wiggle off.
They know now.
Going too far. Yep.
But now they know. Mm-hmm. It's good to see. So, if you're tuning in and you're trying to see how things are going, welcome in. First of all, this is week 228. That's
a lot of weeks.
That's almost a year. That's a lot of ROM hack races. And this week is a real good one. We have JankPickle making Buttered Bridge. If you're not familiar with what's happening here, these are 1F0s, and they do not discriminate. Everyone up to and including Mario is subjected to the momentum stasis that is the 1F0 tile.
That's right.
We've got First Name Buddy, we've got Ice Vanilla here.
You can see the impact of them taking that second.
Oh no!
Oh no! Backwards again. Oh, Ice Vanilla sees what they need to do. Now, I kind of don't remember now, but I think, and JankPickle could tell me, I'm sure. But because you can jump off of Yoshi, can you impart? I think you can impart momentum to him when you land back on him. I'm not sure that you can turn him around, but I think you can at least impart momentum.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
But then you have and then you're moonwalking Yoshi across a 1F0.
Ask the testers. Fen, listen. I seem to remember being able to. I was just thinking like could they have saved it from there? But if they can't turn Yoshi around, then you're in trouble.
We have not seen any moonwalking Yoshis this level so far.
Not yet. Okay, they know what they're doing.
Oh,
jump,
okay.
Jump. No, they were there.
Another knowledge PB.
Yeah, I think that's a knowledge PB. I think they're seeing their way forward.
I want to say something real quick about this because I do not want anyone to give any shit. I don't want anyone to be throwing shade out here. That numbered platform jump at the beginning of the first half is stupid hard if you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Because to have to do the wraparound to send the platform forward and still be able to land on it when it drops down, that takes a not insignificant amount of skill.
Yeah, it's really a lot of this is it's a test of how familiar you are with speed and momentum in Mario.
We're not used to that. Like, we're used to thinking about speed in terms of like jumping. Like, speed is something we build up in order to jump specifically, like to hit P speed to make bigger and higher jumps. We're not always used to managing speed under P speed.
Right.
And this level really forces you to do that.
Yep. And having to think about it in terms of like, speed being locked in. Like, this is the speed you're going to have for the next couple tiles. Yeah. And you know what that is? I really enjoy levels that ask that of the player, that ask you to kind of really focus on something, on an integral Mario thing that you already know, but you maybe don't spend enough time, that you maybe take for granted, like your traveling speed versus the traveling speed of other things. Actually, a good example of something similar, at least in my opinion, is Wyatt's level that generally referred to as Lexapro, which really forces you to, and there have been plenty of other levels made with the pressurized water ASM. So really any level that uses that ASM really forces you to acknowledge and kind of get familiar with exactly how far does Mario go, and with what shape does he travel when he swims, right? The whole level, or any of those levels with that ASM, is a kind of like a meditation in what is the shape of Mario's swim. Big swim, little swim, when you press the down button to cut it off and slow it down. So I really appreciate levels like that kind of force you to look at individual small things about SMW and really understand how they work.
It's like it comes. Oh, okay. Now Icevinyl knows what to do. Icevinyl knows what to do now.
They just need to nail that Yoshi reclaim, and they are moving forward.
It's a lot like working muscles.
Sure. Yeah.
And Kaizo asks you to be basically the Mario equivalent of functionally strong in every muscle. Like, mistiming that, but they know what to do.
Yeah, they know what
to do. Unfortunately, it appears a lot of Kaizo players skip leg day, as we all do from time to time. But the problem is that sometimes you get a level that asks you to flex a muscle that you have not flexed in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just gotta isolate those muscles and work on them.
Those levels tend to have Yoshi's Island music. I'm just going to put that out there.
There is something sinister about the happiness and the levity of Yoshi's Island music that lends itself well to difficult tests of SMW.
As Kelgan calls it, the most cursed of SMW music.
You can't listen to the Yoshi's Island Fortress theme. I do think the Yoshi's Island music definitely has a history of specific use in Kaizo, and it is sometimes a little sinister.
So, Endless with a good point. Last week we had the 2013 level, Amper's Super Mario Land shout out. You remember last year, RBP, when the community went through a very brief but very powerful period of boomer hack appreciation?
Sure, absolutely. Everyone was ready to make a boomer hack. Some even did.
Some even followed through on the threat. Boomer hacks, or if you want to call them that, or hacks styled in the classic Takamoto freaking ha
Panga
mentality. Panga
is maybe the edge, the very edge of, I think, the boomer period. I think the Panga is probably like the the artist that you're not sure whether or not they're whatever genre or post whatever genre. That's them.
ISONL, I think, trying to fill it out. I think if they just realize they don't need to do a full jump off the Yoshi, I think they've got it.
Yep. They just have to train that jump down a little bit. I'm loving seeing they've gotten really good at clipping into the floor. They've done it in more places than I did when I played through this. But yeah, no, we definitely saw. I personally appreciate the boomer hack style. The first hack I ever played was Dram 1, which, like I said, I think is kind of like right on the line of maybe the beginning of moving out of the boomer era. But I've always appreciated those, and I played the original trilogy, and I really did enjoy them, despite all of their difficulties and kind of quirks, call them that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the kind of the boomer design.
My first hack was Kurosu 1.
Oh, and that is a wonderful hack, and I feel like that is also
a beautiful hack.
It is
massive boomer hack, though.
There's definitely.
Well, you can't call it a boom. Yeah, you can't really call it that because it's from the time period, but
right. Well, it was. I mean, so that was. Kurosu was like, and it's kind of touted as like the first beginner hack. I think I have kind of heard some people refer to it.
I've heard it that way.
The first to approach that idea, but you line that up against something that's rated Kaizo beginner.
Oh, ISONL.
Look
at that.
For it. Oh, there it is.
Let's go. Let's go. ISONL with a big H.
That's a big H.
That's huge. Awesome job, ISONL. You've probably been saying your name wrong this whole time, and I apologize for that, but you just got an H on a 5-star level, and that is huge. You have earned these kudos. But yeah, like that whole genre of the Kurosus, the big Chris G hacks. I'm a big Chris G appreciator.
Oh yeah, love Chris G stuff.
Riff 1, Dram 1, that mentality. Akko 1. That entire Hark 1. Oh my gosh, Hark Brothers 1. Just all of it. Just it flexes different muscles.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
And over time, as art tends to do, design sensibilities and personal preference have changed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as a player, it's one thing to have a specific style and appreciation for a type of level design that you like. But part of the nice thing about one of the nice things about Kaizo as a player is that it represents mastery of the platform.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, you can't, like, in order to really claim mastery of the platform, you have to be able to use every muscle available to you.
Oh, for sure. And I think that, yeah, those earlier hacks do a really good job of getting you comfortable and capable of doing things that I think that maybe newer designs don't focus on, or maybe sometimes actively avoid. Like I don't love being overexposed to what we refer to as RNG, right? Jumps that don't work if you get a bad, you just happen to get the wrong collision point with a sprite, and then that puts you two pixels too high, and then you brush the ceiling, right? Something, I'm it's not my favorite ways to die in a hack, but those older hacks have a lot of those kind of, like, I'm gonna call them kind of messier setups, but that teaches you as a player to be able to kind of do things in a way that is useful. It gives you a kind of a comfort, and I guess a confidence that is actually very useful. So yeah, I really appreciate those. First name buddy got stuck there. They could have taken a shot at the end. So they're going to continue to be in this situation, and maybe we will see if that jump is possible as Small Mario by just skipping over the munchers. But as long as they keep trying to hit that second chuck twice, I don't think they're ever going to get the lineup that JankPickle intends there.
Creator intent has a tendency to go out the window at times.
Absolutely.
In situations like this. If you're wondering, we tend to stick around here for roughly 2 hours. We tend to give racers 2 hours on stream. You're free to take as long as you need, and trust me, plenty of people take much longer than 2 hours to do some of these because these are hard things. But we'll stay here for a couple more, maybe 20 more minutes or so, unless we get a couple clears, which is very possible. I want to say that.
Oh yeah, at any point, someone can fire right through. I mean, Buddy has seen the end. They could easily get back there. Yeah, I think the longest that I have taken on a level, and I think I ended up as a DNF, just because I don't think I ever gave you my time. But it ended up taking me the entirety of the race, plus my next stream, plus half of my stream after that. So it was like 8 hours.
Was that Mass Punishments level?
No, it was not. It was not Mass Punishments level. It was someone could help me. It was the one that started with a very difficult to execute shell trick involving a Yoshi. Their name started with a J. The person that made it.
Was it Jirok?
Maybe. I feel like Fen almost certainly remembers.
J-Sif, that's it. Xiao would know the cursed Yoshi shell trick. Yeah, Xiao would know the cursed shell trick.
Yeah, the
J-Sif Yoshi level.
The J-Sif level was a tough one.
I don't mean to call them out if they're still here, but I believe the record for the longest recorded clear of a level is Endless Ascents. I believe Endless owns that record.
Oh, is that so?
At least in terms of continuous play. And I do not say that to shame Endless in any sense, because Endless worked their tails off to get the clear, and they got it and they earned it.
Excellent.
But I think Endless owns the clear record. Oh, well, I say record owns the record for the longest single session clear.
Huh.
And I would like to say that is not something to be ashamed of. That is something to be proud of, because they earned that. That big H.
Absolutely.
A lot of people DNF'd that level. And if you want to know what we're talking about, exclamation point leaderboard in chat. You can see a real-time leaderboard of all of the racers that have raced tonight. But you can also go back and you can see all of the historical leaderboards and you can see some of the names of the people that have come through our halls.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember we were talking during Mason's level about FT029's Mario Kart keys, one of the most infamous ROM hack race levels of all time, in a good way, but also one of the most singularly difficult.
Well, FT, definitely a name that commands some respect and some fear.
All right, here we go.
They were. So it looked
I
like there was
think
a little
they
bit of a
saw
frame
that
drop
and-
there, but I think they were also just trying to get as far to the edge as they could.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Endless. I would say that most people would play better with proper sleep, hydration, and food, but you pulled an electronic logic on that level, and that is to be commended. For those of you that don't know, electronic logic, when Grand Prix World 2 dropped,
Yep, they
sessioned it.
That's right. Very impressive. Sitting down and single sessioning a hack like that is a lot.
Mm-hmm. That music is Connected Entities is the name of the level. The music is burned into my brain and still gives me a little PTSD. Okay, everyone has one of these. RBP, what is your I never want to hear this song ever again in a ROM hack song?
That's a good question. So
everyone who has played Kaizo for longer than a couple hacks has one of these songs.
Yeah. I got to think about that one. So I feel like the one I hear from a lot of people often is the music in RNG Castle.
Yeah,
because
0-1.
I think because I think
the
people
all your base.
I'm sorry, which?
The all your base song.
I think it's a really short loop.
Yes. The all your bases belong to us loop. Yep.
Yeah. So I was never really that bothered by that one. I'm not. Oh, that was really strange there. Icy Vanille doing the butt slide and somehow also falling underneath the 1F0 there. Absolutely. They've gotten really good at getting under these 1F0s. Yeah, I don't know. Lion Tamer saying anything from V6 or VVVVV.
See, I like the V6 music too much to be like to be upset when I hear it. For me,
right.
So I have a couple.
Okay.
One is the Kamek music.
Oh, you know what? I'm piggybacking off of that, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's the Kamek music for me. It's a good song. It bangs very hard. It might in fact bang too hard.
It might go a little too hard in the paint. Just there.
But anyway, sorry, that was one of yours, and your other one.
My other one is very specific to me. And it burns me because it's one of the best ports I've ever heard in my life. But the song from Ode to Lesbian Worm from the GDQ Relay.
Oh, I really like that song.
I like that song too, but it makes me so nervous every time I hear it now.
Afraid the level is going to seize up and break on the big stage.
See, I love the rest of the music in that. I love that port. I will listen to that port unironically, like while driving.
Sure.
But the context of that level makes me very nervous. JankPickle saying Mega Man music. It's got to be very specific Mega Man music.
I like Mega Man music.
I like Mega Man music too.
What I have found, especially in comparing, like talking with other people about how their experiences playing Kaizo and stuff, I think I've found that I don't tend to be largely impacted by the music virtually at all. Like there are some songs that I like more than others and all, but I've never had the sensation of being really like, wow, I need it's not uncommon to see someone play a level. You know, you're hanging out with someone in their stream, right? They play a level for a while. They're grinding through some really hard boss or whatever the case may be. And after a while, they say, you know what? I want to listen to something else. And they'll mute the game audio and they'll put on, the DKC soundtrack or something, right? Just something else, just to mix it up.
Oh, that's cursed.
I've never myself really I've never had that sensation. I can vibe. Apparently I can vibe for a long time with whatever the track may be.
It reminds me of when Third Wall beat Lexapro with Megalovania playing as the music instead of actual Love in the Time of Lexapro. Which is A, a hilarious clip, and B, the biggest vibe shift in history from going from that song to Megalovania.
Yeah, that is a big vibe shift. I with absolutely no caveats, I love the soundtrack to Casio. I think that
it's so good.
I would be willing to say, and without giving it really enough thought, but that might be my absolute favorite SMW hack soundtrack. I think Wyatt did a fantastic job with those ports.
I love Wyatt's ports. I will always be a fan, and this is it's people say it's a very I think my favorite hack soundtrack of all time is Yump 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there's great music in Yump 2.
My favorite port of all time is SyncX's Bowser's Castle from Yump 2. That is my favorite. My favorite port of all time is the SyncX original Bowser's Castle from Yump 2. Kerr, that tracks.
Favorite soundtrack is Moon. So First Name Buddy, that there's still. I was really hoping they might revisit their thoughts about how many times they're hitting these chucks, but they are. I'd be really interested to see if they can get to the end again and give that jump a shot as Small Mario. But at the moment, they are really dialed in on approaching in that way, and it's just unfortunate that it's never going to work out, just because they need way more time than they're giving themselves. And also a raid from All the Low End. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moat. Thank you for the very lovely raid, Moat.
So you can see Buddy's just looking there. They're thinking it through. They're wondering what in the world they could do differently.
Nice.
They're going to give it a stab. They're going to give it a stab. Are they through? They're through. Oh yeah. See, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can make that. You
gotta get a massive lead into that.
Yeah, you need way more momentum than they had there. But even with full momentum, I don't know.
I think you can get it,
but
I think you can get it, but I think it's a pixel jump.
It might be. It might be, and you also kind of got to be wary here. So that might be true, and you might think oh well, maybe they could save it with like a wall jump. Some of these walls are lethal. Not all of them.
Not all of them are. It's an adventure to find out.
Exactly. Oh, wow, that was fascinating. First Name Buddy, getting onto the 1F0 with maybe 3 speed, a speed low enough that they left the 1F0 and were able to turn around and remount it before they had fallen far enough to not be able to do that, which didn't do anything for them, but was very cool.
It looked cool, and ultimately, that what matters.
That is exactly what matters. Whatever the vibe said, that's JankPickle taking the vibe approach to tile placement. I like it.
So I will be honest, and I will say that. So for reference, for people that don't know, I make the pre-show videos and I do the graphics ahead of time. The overlay you see here is actually made by Resi Faye, who did phenomenal work for us, and we love her dearly. But every week I give the levels basically just check to make sure the patches work and all that stuff, and then I make the graphics once the levels.
Sure.
I tend to not jump past the first couple obstacles, just because. Spoiler alert, I'm not actually that good at this game. But but this was one of the first ones. There are sometimes where I play levels and I like make the first jump and I go, oh,
Right.
this is gonna be in. So it has been, and we've been here for almost a couple hours now. JankPickle, you did a phenomenal job. Like let us say that again. You did a phenomenal job with this level.
It is a very intriguing level. It does. I think it kind of it grabs you immediately. Just the whole notion of, oh hey, I get to interact with the one F-Zero now is very. I think to anyone that's played a fair bit of Kaizo, I think that kind of immediately grabs you, and gets you intrigued. First name buddy still thinking it through.
Oh, and they immediately the pause of immediate realization.
Well, I think that they've gotten to the end twice now, and they're still just thinking like, so now they're thinking, okay, can I somehow?
Take this shell.
Yeah, exactly. They're thinking what I was, when I was testing the level. They're thinking about the cheese that I was just trying to see if it was possible. It's amazing how just little things, little innocuous things, like they're just taking a second bot on that chuck, and it's completely changing the manner in which the setup plays itself out. Now that is one of those things that you can look at it and think, you have to, when racing, when playing Kaizo, not in a race, whatever, I think it helps to be consistently critical of what you're doing and what decisions you've already made. And I don't mean like, not beat yourself up, but they're making the decision there to hit the chuck multiple times. And I think it's really helpful to remember to not take any of that for granted. That every once in a while ask yourself, what things am I doing? What choices have I made as the player that I didn't have to make, that I had other options for, and go back and revisit them.
This would be very nice to have Glitch here for, because Glitch would be able to tell you just how long you have to lock in that direction on a chuck.
Yes.
And see now, but okay, we might have a knowledge. Oh, okay, so no, that like, I think that was the first time Buddy
had gone straight for it.
Yeah.
They seem a little uncomfortable. Yeah, they're not willing to do it every time. Maybe they'll get around to it.
But I don't know exactly how long you have until you lock in the direction a chuck follow you at.
Yeah, you don't have. Buddy,
okay, that was funny. That was funny.
Some amazing paths through this level.
One F-Zeros are magical and should be preserved. And I'm just gonna say it, like, you should use one F-Zeros for everything.
I think this is quite an entertaining tile, and I think it's got a whole lot of potential.
It's going places.
And it's taking Mario with it.
See, Shao gets it.
Yep.
Shao understands what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we tend to schedule about 2 hours for these, and our racers are still working really hard on these, and we tend to, after a certain point, we tend to send the love their way. So I think here in a couple, we are going to send a raid over to First Name Buddy.
That sounds like a great idea.
So we're going to cheer them on. So please, by all means, please, like, if you want to, stick around and go cheer on the racers in their own streams. We're going to send it over to Buddy, but please also be sure to give Ice Vanilla some love, because they have been working their tails off. Although it looks like
I think now
Buddy may be ducking out. Oh no, they're going back in.
I was just saying, now would be a great time to say, if you haven't already, I think that following all of the racers, you can find their links to all of their Twitch profiles on the leaderboard. So if you go to the leaderboard at !leaderboard, you can find a link to the Twitch handles to all of our racers tonight.
And we are grateful for all 14 racers that came out and spent time with us, played this really cool level. Oh, okay, that might be a knowledge PB for Buddy.
Okay, they're learning.
We're learning.
Excellent.
We're all learning together. But I will say that these levels are hard, and if you want to play them, you can do so. You can get them at our website, romhackraces.com, exclamation point website in the chat if you'd like a direct link. You can also get them on our Discord, exclamation point Discord in chat, if you would like a direct link. Our Discord is great, regardless of whether you like playing, like making, or just like watching people make and play ROM hacks. We talk about the races, but we also have a base ROM that we give to creators to help them get started on their ROM hacking journey. And we also have a community of some incredibly talented and skilled creators, resource makers, the works. Like, some of the smartest people in this community are willing to answer your questions and help you with your first ROM hacking project, which might end up being a level for ROM hack races someday. You never know.
Yeah.
But we are going to send the love over to First Name Buddy here. RVP, any closing thoughts or shout outs you want to give before we start passing this off?
I think just a shout out again to JankPickle for making this, to the whole RHR crew that is running this whole show, and to all the testers, which is a sly way of giving myself a shout out.
Shout out to you, RVP.
No, big shout out to everyone on the team for keeping ROM hack races running for over 200 weeks. You said earlier, that's a really long.
It is almost 200 weeks.
So congrats to everyone.
Next week we have a level from Prestonator and Kerr. If you've not played a Prestonator level in a while, you're missing out. Prestonator has leveled up in a big way as a creator over the past few months, and it's been really fun to see. And Kerr is Kerr, so there's going to be some quality there. So be sure to stick around. Come back next week. We're going to do this whole thing again, and it's going to be fun. And we hope you're a part of it too. We are going to get a raid started to First Name Buddy here any second now, but I would be remiss if I did not say that you should know that you matter. Your thoughts matter, your feelings matter. You matter to other people in your life. You matter to us here at ROM Hack Races. You matter to me. You should know Black Lives Matter, trans lives matter, LGBTQ lives matter, disabled lives matter, and you matter. Protect trans kids in 2023. From all of us here at ROM Hack Races, thank you so much for being a part of this event. We are going to send it over to First Name Buddy. Hope to see you around the Discord. Hope to see you on the website. If not, hope to see you next week. Take care. Have a great evening. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.